Hi everyone, my name is Nicola. I am simply a stitcher. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, it's great to have you, and if you are returning, thank you for coming and spending some more time with me today. So it's a Saturday stitch with me, so given that we are still in the first month of the year, this can only mean one thing. It's a time for a new start. So if you see my floss tubes on a Tuesday, I do a wheel spin. I've got a number of new starts that I'm doing this year. This is the 5th, I think I want to say. Let's have a think. So we've had Bizarre Bookshelf. We've had Van Gogh Never Met the Fellowship. We've had Sophie Kilpatrick London. Is there another one? Or is this the 4th? It might be the 4th, actually. What did I start last week? Van Gogh. Oh, and no, this is the 5th. The Ice Dragon is in there as well. So this is start number 5. I'll get there in the end. So this beautiful piece, it's a GeckoRouge kit. The artwork is by Rozanne Bell, and this is called Coastal. Let me just get the pattern keeper mock up. It might be a little bit better. And for those of you who know me personally, you will know that I absolutely love water, to be near water, to hear the sound of water. So the sea, rivers, lakes, anything that has water, it is absolutely my jam. So I think this was last year I bought this for my birthday, or maybe something, or winning a bet, or could have been any how that I got this kit from GeckoRouge. What have I done with my needle? It's there. So yeah, it's not a massive pattern. It's 400 by 400 stitches, 149,769. But I say 400 by 400. It's not quite 400 by 400. It's actually 386 by 386. So 387 by 387, apologies. And there are 92 colours in this one. And as ever with GeckoRouge, they've come on their thread cards. I've already cut these threads across all of them. Once I'd picked the kit, I sat and separated all of the colours. So I've got my start points. So yeah, let's get cracked on. I think the way I'm going to work this one is I'm going to pretty much do typewriter method. So I'll probably come down about sort of 20 or 30 stitches. I've actually got a block around sort of the edge, which is 3 stitches deep here. So I might sort of go 23 stitches and then kind of do typewriter across those. And just let's see how we get on. So I'm up in sky at the start of this, so there's going to be lots and lots of blues. We had lots of blues last week with the fellowship, and now we've got blues again with the sky. So 1, 2, so I'm going to be starting. So this is the very top corner stitch. So yeah, we're going to crack on. 25 count, 1 over 1, full cross. And I will be working on this in my Sunday live stream as well this week. So we are off and running. I'm going to squeak the camera in a bit closer. Oh. And just brighten it up. Hannah is at home with me this morning. She's working, so she's not down yet, but she will be down very shortly for a breakfast and so on. So, yeah. Okay. Oh, speak of the devil, and she will come downstairs.
No.
Okay, then don't.
Not even going to talk about it. I'll turn around.
All right then. So yeah, I've got some comments to go through today as usual. So I will be looking through those very shortly, and we'll see what you guys have been saying. It seems like I'm just doing the naturally gravitated to the 3-stitch wide strip at the moment. But let's see what happens, eh? I don't think this one will be confined to square by square. Oh yeah. What are you grumbling at, kid? Which one? That's because Andy's given it to me. It's got squash in it. There's plenty in the cupboard. Why don't you borrow my stitchy mug then? All right, then don't. Okay. I will tell Andy when he comes home to just be mindful not to give me your stitch mug, okay? Hannah likes to have her own mug, and Andy's given it to me. So it's a Wednesday morning as I film this. It's still gloomy. It's still dark at the moment, but it is gloomy. I can already tell it's going to be a gloomy day. I was going to film my unboxing video for All Is Vanity, but I haven't had a nice day yet because I want to do it under natural light. I'll get there. I'll get it filmed. It's been a busy week this week. I mean, obviously, it's Wednesday as I filmed this. You guys are seeing it on the Saturday. I've been doing some training at work this week, which it's always more difficult when it's via Zoom and not in person. It's training in whatever it is you're doing. I think is always easier to grasp in person rather than over Zoom. Even though what I'm doing is sort of computer based. So Tuesday, the people who were learning the task, I was having a lot of Zoom referrals, and it's exhausting talking all day. Monday, after spending the day training out, I was absolutely shattered and still had to go to Asda and get my shopping. Tuesday I was sort of on and off Zoom all day long, and just when there was a nice lull and I thought I'm going to have a quick catch up with my manager, and the referrals started coming in again. It's always the way, isn't it? But I got there, and the guys were reasonably happy with what they were doing. They've gotten a good understanding, so which is all we ask for, really, is a good understanding. So, what else have I been doing? As you watch this, I will be at a retreat, or I'll just come home from a retreat from day one. This weekend is the Floss Friends UK Hints and Tips weekend. It's being held in my town, so there's no hotel stay or anything involved. I can just go across and enjoy my day with lots of lovely fellow stitchers. And I will have spoken to the lady at Atelier Frames about getting She Sleeps framed, because we are edging ever closer to the finish line on She Sleeps. As it stands as of Wednesday morning, 95.7%, so it's getting closer. Which I'm very happy about. I think I will probably, like the same with Maui Princess, be sad when my time with She Sleeps has come to an end. Now, my plan is, once She Sleeps is done, to put extra stitches into go on, Night Cafe. However, I've kind of got an itch to finish Pandemic. I have got I think I've got about 13,000 stitches to go. I'm going to take it to the retreat this weekend with Sailing Fairy. So I'm going to have 2 projects to work on. But I think, in all likelihood, before I start on Night Cafe, extra stitches, I think I might just finish Pandemic. Okay, so I have some comments from you guys, which we're going to go through. Because, as you guys know, if you leave me a comment, I use these Stitch With Me videos to reply. Every comment gets a response. Sometimes I will do a typewritten response if it's something that is particularly urgent, as it were. But yeah, I like to dedicate these Stitch With Me's to doing a response to the questions that you guys are asking, or the comments that you are making. So I'm starting them, the comments from Flosstube number 3, which was part 2 of my, what we call in the Oscar speech from my birthday, and the spin that I did well, Hannah actually did it that week. Jane 22 is our first commenter. And she says, nice to see you. Oh, sorry. Hi, good to see you. I've not found your buy me a coffee button on your recent posts. I love your work. I'm still using paper patterns. I'm sorry, typing, not using English. So I have to thank Jane for this, because for some reason my Buy Me a Coffee link had been missed off some of my recent videos. I have now ensured that it is in videos and it will be in all future ones. So if you do feel that you would like to buy me a coffee to donate to the channel via the Buy Me a Coffee link, it's in the description box below. And to all of those of you that have recently put in to my Buy Me a Coffee, whether it be just because or for birthday or Christmas or, you know, whatever, thank you all so much. The money that is collected via Buy Me a Coffee is going towards the framing of She Sleeps. Okay, so I popped in a link, and as I said, I ensured that it is there going forward. Right. Let's go back to the left. Needle Needles says, I love all your projects. Oh, come on. I have 7, and that's enough for me. You are such a nice lady. Thank you, Needle Needles. I do try my best. Oh, so this colour that I've currently got has the most amount on this pattern, just under 10,000 stitches, 9,881 of this particular blue that I'm just about threading up. Okay. Mary Lee Jones, did you really get in 10,000 stitches in 1 week? I'm retired and can't even come close. I must be doing something wrong. I talked about this on my last video because a similar comment from Mary was published earlier. If you're not getting 10,000 stitches a week, Mary, honestly, you're not doing anything wrong. For me, stitching is like an Olympic sport. I do a lot. I'm up early. I work from home. I stitch between work, you know, on lunch break and stuff. And I immediately hit the sofa and get the stitching out when I'm finished. I have a very supportive family. My husband is the one that does the majority of like housework and chores and things. I do shop and I do cook. And then on a weekend, I can get in, you know, 10 hours or more stitchy time a day, depending on how much other stuff I have going on. I'm a two-handed stitcher, obviously. I've been practiced this two-handed method for a long time. I'm pretty ambidextrous, so my left hand and right hand work pretty much at the same level. But yeah, I do an awful lot of stitching, so yeah. I've said before, I'll say it again, Hannah sat here and probably will agree with me. I work more harder on my stitching than I do on my full-time paid work job.
Oh God, yeah, no doubt.
Because I just love doing this so much. And for me now, my daily stitching isn't a hobby so much. Well, it is a hobby. It always will be a hobby. But the daily stitching is a habit now. Andy says I look weird without stitching in my hands. So yeah. So I don't mind, I shall stay weird. And we had a little back and forth on that comment, Mary and I. And I said, you know, she's not doing anything wrong. And asks if parking helps as well. Yes, parking does help, but as you saw from the last Stitch With Me video with the Van Gogh piece, Parking can take a little while to set up, but obviously I think that, you know, that there is a benefit once you have set it all up. Oh, sorry, I have a rumbly tummy this morning. Sharon tacked on a comment onto that thread saying, well done, Nicola, great number of stitches and love the new pattern. I also had a comment from Barbara, but unfortunately I forgot to do a Google Translate. It is in Polish by the look of it, but there's a celebratory icon in there and a heart swell. All I can assume is it's something good, Barbara, and I will look at this via Translate and reply to you in Polish via Google Translate. Kay, you're going to like this one, Hannah. She says, nice nails as usual, and loving the wheel pick. Did you hear that, kiddo?
Mm.
And slipped completely, look. Okay. Norma says, such amazing progress as always, Nicola. I'm assuming that working on such lovely projects helps with that progress. Yeah, it does. And as you will have, you know, sort of know by now, I have my rotation. I do 1,000 stitches and then I change the piece out. It stops me getting stale, I suppose, starts me getting stitch bored. And it's enough to show some progress each time I show the piece. So yeah, the pieces that I've got, I've made really considered choices for all of them, because I look at it and I'm like, do I like it? Yes. Do I love it? Yes. Can I see myself stitching it? Yes. Will it fit in my home? Does it suit my aesthetic? Will, you know, there's all sorts of questions that I ask myself when I'm picking a piece. Has it got lots of block colour in it? Am I going to get bored? That's a biggie. Because some designs I have actually decided not to stitch because of the amount of block colour in them, that potentially for me would mean me getting bored with that amount of block. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. I know I've got some pieces in my new start list that have got a lot of block colour in them. Pandora will have a lot of block colour. The one to rule them all will have a lot of block colour. This one has got a lot of block colour, but I've taken the decision to put them in because the parts of the pattern that are interesting to me don't have a lot of block colour, and the features will come out really nicely. So mixing those in with mixing block colour in with confetti on other pieces, I think I'll have a nice balance. My stitching shelf, the bookshelf, is confetti heavy right the way through. So So, you know, my Van Gogh Never Met the Fellowship is confetti heavy. And then you balance it with something like this, which has got lots of block stitching. It makes it, you know, better. And of course, having the different styles as well, typewriter, diagonal, block by block parking, row by row, that kind of thing, all adds to, you know, the interest, really, the interest level, because whichever piece I'm picking up, might be stitching it a slightly different way, you know, to the next, and that also keeps me interested. So yeah, I take on lots of decisions when picking a piece. This one I picked because of my love of the sea. Okay. Laurie says, love the new start. I think you can figure it out soon enough. She Sleeps. It's stunning. I can't wait to see it finished. Well, au revoir, chicken. On She Sleeps, the remaining area to be stitched is now within the hoop. Which is exciting, because it means that once the area that is that I don't need to move the hoop again. I will just make I haven't done it yet. I will make a small adjustment, but yeah, don't need to move the hoop again. Just stay in there now until it's done. And I was very, very glad of having the max colour version for She Sleeps. I think it definitely warranted it. Facial detail and the detail on the berries and stuff. The max colour certainly does that justice. Okay. Hannah says, Karen, Hannah say, let me start that again. Karen says, Hannah, you have beautiful hair. Yeah, Hannah's hair is almost waist length. She is very proud of it. She spends a lot of time on it. Sometimes she curls it, sometimes she crimps it. She's very disciplined, much more disciplined than I was when I had long hair, and mine would just be shoved back in an awkward loopy ponytail. But Hannah plaits hers every night. She braids it every night so it doesn't tangle. She takes very, very good care of it, I have to say, and it's a feature of hers. It's her lovely hair. Okay, let's just mark these off. Okay. coming out. Rachel Q Stitches says, sounds like you had a great birthday. £half isn't shabby. Looking forward to watching you finish She Sleeps. Can you tell me what Etsy store you purchased Rivendell from? So thank you. I did. I had a wonderful birthday. £half, you know, I was happy with that. You know, £half on after all of the shenanigans of the last few weeks is not a bad result. Rivendell was purchased from Etsy for me. It was an RAK, but I believe it was from the Stitching Masterpieces Etsy shop. I could be wrong, but, you know, I think it was from her. One of my subscribers RAK'd me the pattern. And unfortunately, it doesn't tell me on the PDF, but I do believe it was from Stitching Masterpieces. Okay. Sally Ann Cole, can't believe you managed to do so many stitches this week. What amazing progress you've made on She Sleeps. Yeah, 10,000 stitches, that was a good week. Some weeks I can get in that many because, you know, I have the opportunity, but other weeks that I don't get that chance. I've had weeks where for me, it's been a relatively small 5,000 stitches. And it's just because of life. Some weeks are busier than others. Just had a drink in a bit to quieten my tummy down. You guys may not hear it, but I certainly do. Pardon, beg your pardon. Oh, come on. Love your projects and how much you can get done each week. So this is from Heidi, and a note on the dragon piece though, it's charted by Nazeda and it's kitted by Paine Free Crafts. Thank you for letting me know that. Obviously I made that sort of slight error there in my video. Because Sarah charts up so many, I just, you know, my mouth kind of just went naturally with charted and kitted by, but of course that's not the case, and I've just made a right old mess of that. She does sell pattern in her Etsy shop as PDF. I've been wish listing her patterns for years now. I absolutely love them. Happy stitching. Thank you, Heidi, and thank you for the reminder there, the prompt. Like I said, because Sarah charts so many, it's just, for me, a automatic to say that it's her, but clearly it's not. I know that she does make kits and things for Cross Stitch Studio, Cross Stitch for Everyone, Charting Creations, and obviously those are not charted by her. But, you know, from the Paine Free Crafts side, I know that she does do a fair amount of charting. And just a note on Sarah's charting, because I have Sailing Fairy. if you were in any sort of quandary about getting a Paine Free Crafts chart, the charting is very, very good. Lots of attention paid to it, you know, with symbols that are similar, not sort of clashing together on the pattern. The minimum amount of stitches will be per colour will be, I think she said it was 100, unless the pattern deliberately calls for it. You know, there'd be no 10 stitches, 20 stitches, 2 stitches, you know, of this colour, of that colour, and of the other. And the patterns are easy to read. They go into Pattern Keeper easily. So yeah, all good. Okay, Lynn Cordova says, I really like your new London stitch. She Sleeps is amazing. Yeah, the Sophie Kilpatrick London is stitching up quite well. When me and Andy were in Chester, I was able to take it with me and get some of the blocky stitching done. Like I said in my video, the hotel room was sort of not the best light. Didn't have my Lowry stand with me. Even forgot a hoop and had to buy one. And it was just easy enough to outline an area of one colour and then just spend my time filling that in. And I managed to get 1,800 stitches in over, I think it was 1,800 over 2 days, which, oh, that's just gone wrong, hasn't it? Which was quite good. I was very pleased. So normally, if it was out on a Sunday stitch, it would probably achieve around sort of 1,500-ish. So yeah, I was quite happy with that. Katinka says, great progress. We're still on Flosstube number 3. Great to so much fun watching you pick a new start. Yeah, the wheel is a fun thing to do. And what I will be doing is, once I've done all of the new starts, I will be adding my next batch to the wheel. My plan is that once I finish 2 projects, I will start one, because I've added a lot of whips in, but I do want to get those numbers down, you know, so yeah, it'll be 2 finish for 1 start. As I said, after She Sleeps is done, I'm going to focus on Pandemic. Then I'm going to spend a little time on Night Cafe with extra stitches. My plan was to do that right up to my mid-year whip parade. But once I've got all of my new starts underway, I might, you know, sort of have a look about which one has got the least number of stitches and is closest to a finish, and get cracking on that, really. But we'll see how it goes. I might just enjoy seeing the progress on Night Cafe, because once I put it out for the extra stitches, the progress will zoom in, I'm pretty sure. at the moment I'm leaving Night Cafe in my will to somebody. It's a massive piece, almost 1 million stitches. I'm not 1 million stitches in, but it's technically behind because it's a restart, and I had to restart it. I had no choice. The fabric that I had was too small, and I wanted to do all of the stitches. It's about 100 stitches deep, too small at the bottom end of the pattern. Okay. Nina from Nina Hobby Site says, great progress. Murder mittens. Yeah, the cat featured on my video, and Hannah made the comment that she had her murder mittens out, indicating that the cat was not happy, and out comes the claws, which Nina found amusing. Yeah, she definitely has those murder mittens. Okay, let's go back to 58. And then Nina wishes me happy stitching. Thank you, Nina. It's really nice to have such a lovely, huge variety of people that comment on my videos. It's great. I love it. And Jodie says, wow, amazing progress, Nicola. And how exciting that the birthday presents are still arriving. You definitely are loved very much. Have a great day and week. Stay warm, Jodie. Thank you, Jodie. Yeah, the birthday has been the gift that keeps going on giving. And you know, I've had some wonderful gifts. I showed the most recent arrival in Tuesday's Flosstube, and I've also shown them on the live my beautiful Ernest Wright scissors. I've just got one more thing to do, and then I will start to use those. I had to get a replacement lanyard because I managed to break mine, and until I'd got that lanyard, I was not prepared to use them even once, because Lauren had the nail glue out last weekend, and I was like, yeah, I'm not getting them out because I'd have to put them on the table, and if Lauren decides she needs scissors and spies those, she will zero in on them, and then the next thing we knew, they'll be lathered up in nail glue. So that was not happening. So they have stayed safely away. But they are most definitely a wonderful item to treasure and a keepsake. And every time I use them, I will be reminded of my wonderful stitch friends. Jeanette Dodd went and had a look at one of my older Stitch With Me videos, an ASMR one. Was it an older one or was it one from this year? I can't remember. Doesn't tell me when the video was published. It could have been from this year, actually. And says, there. I'm not stitched along with a silent floss tube before. I got so many more stitches in than in a chatty one. so peaceful. Love the chatty ones too, though, but I know they are harder to do. I actually find the ASMR ones a little bit tougher, actually, Jeanette, because I'm a chatterbox at times, and sometimes I have to check myself and make sure I'm not talking to myself or singing to myself or something, because normally when I film those, I've got my headphones on and I've got something in my ears from YouTube, and the temptation to sing along or express my opinion at the screen, shall we say, is ever present. I don't think I've burst into song just yet, but I might have gone, or made an equally subtle noise to express something about something that I've got in my ears. Although, I don't think you'd hear them very often, to be fair. Karen says on Livestream Wednesday, we were talking about the other gifts that keep on giving in the UK here. When you turn 50 and you're a female, all of a sudden you qualify for these additional tests and checks on the NHS. So within a fortnight of my birthday, I had been called up for a mammogram, and I have also had the bowel cancer test kit come through the post as well, the bowel screening come through. And Karen comments on that live stream and says, in the US there are commercials for the poo boxes that come in the mail. Cologuard, I did it my way. They try and make it funny. I don't think we have sort of regular adverts, but occasionally there may be a campaign that runs here in the UK that they may put an advert on the television for, if you have any changes, or if you're like, there was one a couple of years back, have you got a cough that's not getting better, it's worth getting checked because there could be something underlying that needs to be treated, that kind of thing. So yeah, occasionally we do have, and we had lots of very well publicised campaigns where the campaigner has sadly lost their battle against one or another disease. There was a lady here in the UK, her name was Deborah. She was known as the Bowel Babe. She had bowel cancer and raised an awful lot of awareness and fundraising for bowel cancer research. She was given a damehood by Prince William at her home shortly before she passed away, and she was an absolutely amazing lady. And I did notice that on the back of Dame Deborah's passing, in public loos, my workplace toilet, that kind of thing, sometimes on the back of the door in the cubicles or by the hand dryers, there may be a poster, usually a laminate information leaflet, what to do if you notice this, that or the other, and with the urge of please, if you see any changes, get checked out. So here in the UK, we do sort of have that public loos, workplaces, occupational health, all that kind of thing. It's something that I think now as a nation we are getting less. How can I describe this? Tests of that kind of nature have kind of this ick factor, don't they? People are like, ooh, do I have to do that? Well, yeah, you do if you want to make sure that you're staying healthy. And I think a lot of us in the UK are now getting beyond the factor and just getting on and doing what we need to do to make sure that we maintain our health. I mean, for me, the one thing that I've done to improve my health drastically over the last couple of years, as you'll all know, is weight loss. My risk factor for diabetes has reduced significantly. My fatty liver has reduced. My cholesterol, well, my fatty liver's gone. My cholesterol level has reduced back down to almost normal levels. And it was sky high. So, yeah. Then M78 Lejeune. Early detection of the mammogram is good. I was diagnosed with breast cancer at 45 and had a double mastectomy in 2023. Caught it early and they got it early, which is fabulous. So I'm so glad that you've come through that journey, and hopefully that you remain, hopefully you are now, and that you will remain cancer free. And Monique says, I wasn't there during the live, but I watched it during stitching, had some nice laughs over the poop story. I'm 54 years and have to wait for 6 more years before I get my kit here in the Netherlands. So yeah, for us in the UK, the over 50s, myself included, are now being screened as part of an early detection process. But generally, I think, you know, it would have been 60 otherwise. I can remember my mother having this test when she reached 60. I can remember seeing it in her bathroom when I went to visit. The unused test, I hasten to add. I can remember seeing it unused and wondering what it was for. And I sort of asked her, and she said, oh, it's just the screening, the bowel cancer screening. My mum was thankfully all good in that respect, but my mum had other problems which caused her early passing. Lung disease, heart problems, blood pressure, ischemia, COPD, diabetes. My poor mum, bless her, could have gone through the A to Z of the medical dictionary and found a condition that she would have had under every letter. So, yeah. Okay, Enid leaves me a stitchy icon on my Flosstube Stitch With Me with Envy that I released last week. Envy's so beautiful. I do love stitching on her. Be nice when she gets towards a finish too. I know that lots of people are looking forward to seeing her approaching a finish. Okay. Coming on quite well this so far. I'm quite impressed. Let's have a look. Have I got any other stitches? Yes, I do. I have 2 colours left in this section to go. So let's do the ninja colour first. A couple of ninja stitches. And then we can just get to filling in. Nice to have a section, speaking of filling in, says Kelly. Nice to have a section where all you have to do is fill in. Makes the stitching go faster, for sure. Absolutely it does. And this is, of course, on Envy because her skirt is great swathes of block colour. There's a surprising amount of black in it, though, you believe it or not, even though it's a green dress. To highlight the shadows, there's a surprising number of black stitches in there. Don't know if you heard my tummy then, but I sure did. It needs to shush. Okay. Our lovely Laurie, who's had a rough week, she says, I finally picked up my stitching after a rough week, and I only got 262 stitches to your 400 plus mine were 10. I remember when you were stitching her arm. This is again on Envy. Yeah, But like Kelly said there in the previous one, Laurie, lots of block stitching always helps. Number 46. Okay, and Beth says, nice progress. Can you show the pattern with it, counting your stitches like Gemma does? I do like to see stitches being counted with every stitch. Unfortunately, I don't have the technical knowledge to do that. It's something that I am wanting to do, but as it stands at the moment, I've no clue. I don't know how to do it. I will look into it again and, you know, perhaps seek some assistance from one or two other floss tubers that I know, see if they can help me with it and how to do it. But as it stands at the moment, I'm not able to do that, but I will try. Anything that enhances my videos, I'm quite happy to try, but sometimes I have a creative brain rather than a technical one. So sometimes it's just simply that my brain can't work out the technicalities of doing it. So sadly, it may just be that the Stitch With Me is continue under this format, but we'll see. I posted a video as well about how I size up my fabric, and I showed you guys how to do the calculation and work out how much overall you would need depending on how much border size you want. A pen, a paper, a calculator and a tape measure is all you needed. And as I said in a previous video, the tape measure, that you can visualize the width or the depth of the finished piece, is very useful. It's how I do it. So divide the total number of stitches across or down by the count of fabric, and round up any decimal point. That will give you your size in inches for the stitched area, and then add on accordingly the amount of border. I use 3 inches. I think most places do. And then, you know, once you've done that, it's easy enough then to measure up the fabric and cut it to size, or measure a piece of fabric and you will know if your stitching will fit on it. Hey, brilliant. You look lovely. It is 8:05 though, so you're going to have to get your skates on. And I had a lovely response to that video. Kathy Brown says, thank you. Getting ready to start one, not in a kit. Great for us newbies, which is great. I'm glad to hear that. You know, I think people can get very bogged down and I think people can get very bogged down and confused, and, you know, with how to work out the fabric sizing. So you know, that sort of makes it easy. You've got a visual there that you can refer back to. I think the video is about 8 minutes long. And, you know, the same method is used whatever count you're working on. But obviously the less per square inch, less per inch, so 14 count is going to give a much larger piece than 25 count.
And I understood none of that.
Well, you're not meant to, you don't stitch.
It's a good job.
Why do you say that, Hannah?
Because because I'd never be able to tack it. I'd never get it. Never be able to follow a pattern. Just wing it.
You can do it with diamond painting.
I can't, well, just about. But look, it's easy.
Okay. Salita on the same video says, thank you so much, Nicola, for this info. It's very much appreciated, and I will now be able to figure out the size of fabric to use. Again, thank you. Much love from Northeastern Oregon, Salita.
That's American, isn't it?
That's what? What?
Oregon.
Oregon what?
It's America.
Yes, it is. No problem, Salita. I'm glad it was useful to you. That's the thing with us stitches. Let's help one another where we can and lift you up. Upskill you. That's it. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay.
I know you've read it, but just really quickly, sniff that and tell me if it stinks or if I can get away with it.
You can get away with that. That's fine. Enid, and on that same video, leaves a thanks. No problem, Enid. Hope it's... what's the matter? No worries, Enid. It's no problem at all. I hope it helped. Sorry, I've got Hannah banging on in the background. She's not left for work yet. Okay. Have a good day. Have a good day. Are you done at 3?
Yeah, 3.
And you're coming straight home, or?
Yeah, straight home.
All right. I'll see you later. I love you.
Love you, bye-bye.
Bye. And that's Hannah off to work. Bless her. She does love her job. She says, I said to her, are you working today? She says, unfortunately. But, you know, she does love it. She does enjoy what she does, I think. Redline Handcraft asked what overhead camera stand I use to do my Stitch with Me's. So this is just like an angle poise one. I got it off Amazon. It clamps to the table that sits in front of me. Andy uses it for his streams as well. It's not the most expensive thing in the world. I think it's about £12 or so GBP. It has sort of a jaw that you can put the camera into, and you know, I can move it about and stuff. And yeah, it works for me. So that's what I use. As I said, relatively inexpensive and low tech, because, you know, me and high tech doesn't happen. If I'm doing a video though where I'm showing something and I'm on the camera, like I was with my how to calculate video and my how I put my fabric in hoop video and excess fabric, Andy films me on his GoPro. Which is why the sound sounds different as well. I think my camera has, on my phone, has a much better sound quality than his GoPro. But then again, a couple of videos that Andy has filmed me, I've been sat in my kitchen and it's like a bit of an echo chamber in there. It doesn't have carpet, it has a tiled floor. And carpets tend to dampen the sound, but tiling doesn't. Okay. Taniqua says, thank you so much for this video on my calculating fabric guide. No problem, Taniqua, you're very welcome. Excuse me. Oh dear. Oh, have a drink. Our lovely Kelly's Quilts and Cruises. Thanks, Nicola. Very comprehensive. Good idea with a tape measure for the visual. Since I have 3 tape measures, don't ask, this will be very easy for me. Yeah, as a quilter, Kelly, I would expect you to have more than one. I think I've actually got several as well. So, you know, I know what you mean. I think as the stitches, we always have more than one of, don't we? So, yeah. But yeah, I'm glad you found it helpful, my lovely. Oh, there's some noisy so-and-so having a bit of a yell there outside. I think it's council in one of the houses opposite doing some repairs or something. They've been there for a couple of days. Okay, Sally Ann Cole also says it was very useful information. And Valerie O'Hara says, new Sibby here. This was so interesting. I'm a visual person, so very helpful and easy to understand your information. Cheers from down under. No worries at all, Valerie. I'm so glad that you found it easy. And I'm a visual one too. So, yeah, for me, it was very important. You know, you can see the figures and say, for example, if it's going to be 20 inches wide, you know it's going to be 20 inches wide. But until with that tape measure that you can see what 20 inches wide look like, you don't know if it's going to be right. You know, some people don't need that visual, but I'm like you, I definitely do. Okay. And Karen Ennis also says, thank you so much. And also Laurie says, great tutorial. I have one chart that this will help with. Thank you. Yeah. You see, for me, even if it comes in a kit, I still do a manual calculation and just double check the size of the fabric that's come through. This one, for example, this morning, I did the calculation of the number of stitches wide, and divided it, got the inches for the stitched area, and then opened up the fabric and measured it overall, and then I could work out where to start this piece so it's fairly central and I've got enough margin around the edge. So, you know, I do it myself even on my kitted kits, because after the debacle with Night Cafe and myself measuring it wrong, I wanted to be absolutely certain. Okay. And then Redline comes back, and on my new start, Stitch With Me for Van Gogh Never Met the Fellowship, your way of ending thread scares me. I'm quite used to it now. I don't have loose stitches or anything like that. It's just natural for me to end my thread in that way. I'm lazy that I don't like to flip my work. Only in an exceptional circumstance will I flip the hoop over and have to ferret about underneath to fasten in the thread. But yeah, I've been doing the thread ending that way for quite a while now. Everybody has their own different ways, their own different, you know, sort of quirks. So yeah, it works for me. It might not work for everybody else, and I get that, but for me, it's just fine and dandy. And then Celia sends me some heart icons. Thank you, Celia. Okay, and then Peggy on that last stitch with me, I was talking about She Sleeps, and I'm thinking a square frame, a large mat in a sort of salmony colour to pick up the pinks in her, with a smaller sort of, a gold edged mat in the middle, between the salmon and the stitching, if that makes sense. When I have a look at it over the weekend at the retreat, I'll see if I can get a snap of what I choose, and show that in next week's Flosstube. But yeah, I'm quite excited for She Sleeps. Let me get her finished. Okay. Sarah says on my calculations video, just came at the perfect time as I've got a long dog sampler to try. Great stuff. Yeah, long dogs are really nice. I like stitching on Pandemic, but I kind of put it aside for full coverage, and I don't know why, because I do love Pandemic. I will be getting Pandemic out. It's in a little pouch to my right at the moment. I will be getting it out and having a look at it to take with me. Tracy Albert says, very good progress on the new start. I love Van Gogh art. We'll be happy to see this one as it stitches out. She Sleeps definitely deserves to be framed. Absolutely she does. And framed in the right way, because I could frame it myself, but I'm a complete amateur and it would probably look terrible. Round frames are hard to come by, or harder to come by, should I say. So I think a square frame with a round mat, and I have no idea about mats and stuff, so yeah. And then Sharon says, lovely new start, all those blues. We need a chat with Hannah video. We need to get her on camera one day. Yeah, Hannah is not keen on that idea, unfortunately. She, because of her autism, I think, she finds being on camera quite awkward. And she's quite happy to sort of parts of her body, the back of her head, that kind of thing. But her whole self, no. She's not going to do that, sadly. I'd love her to, but I can't make her, and I don't want to sort of force the issue, really, and make her uncomfortable. Okay. Just get rid of those. Daphne was stitching on Nature's King, Hayes Sal 2025, while listening stroke watching. And Karen Needlebug says, you're off to a great start. I have Pandemic as a focus project, 14,700 stitches to go. You should join me and we can finish together. Well, maybe we can, go on live together, because we did work out that there was this way we could do it successfully, Karen. So maybe we can have a look at that at some point. But yeah, I do think it's time I got my Pandemic done, and I know that you're feeling the same way about yours. Okay. Enid leaves me some thumbs up, and Wendy Stitching says, what kind of scissors did you say you were getting? I didn't catch that, just curious, as I'm looking for good scissors as well. So they are Ernest Wright's scissors. Just get the box. Ernest Wright's of Sheffield. There is a website that shows the scissors on there. I was expecting a good long wait because I know that one of my other subscribers had a wait for them, but they were here very quickly. Super impressed. So the order book can't be terribly busy at the moment, which is a good thing for me, but not so good for them. But it did mean that I could get my scissors delivered fairly swiftly. Crikey, there's a lot of racket going on outside. I'm going to have a nosy in a bit. Joe Sorensen leaves me some thumbs up. And this is where the idea of finishing Pandemic next has come from. Lovely Joy Stitchy Dutchy, how about working on Pandemic on the days you do a new start? It's an easy project to level out the extra time new starts take because of the empty canvas. Plus you will have Pandemic finished soon after she sleeps, which makes 2 finishes, and you can dive into the 2 finishes for 1 start pile. As you see there, Joyce, that is a really good point. But I do think that if I dedicate the extra stitches once she sleeps is done to Pandemic, it'll mean that Pandemic's done quicker. So the 2 finish 1 start will potentially start faster too. But I won't do another start and add in another start until I've got all of these ones done. So, and I still have a dozen on the wheel, around a dozen. Valerie says, this is fascinating to watch. I've done a fair bit of cross stitching in the past. Always using a paper pattern enlarged, and I've only recently learned about parking and seeing a pattern on a tablet. Life has given a few challenges over the last 3 to 4 years, as it does, and I'm now ready to put more time into self-care by revisiting my interests and hobbies. Thank you for sharing. Cheers from Down Under. P.S. I've never stitched on anything that small either. Yeah, well, my go-to is 25 count. Pandemic is actually on 28 count, but that would be the absolute maximum. I wouldn't go any smaller than 28 count. I know people who stitch quite happily on 32 count and 40 count and so on, but no. For me, we'll just, you know, give it someone a regular with 25, occasional 28, but, you know, 28 really is, it's tough for me. And I have good glasses, I have varifocal glasses and a magnifier. So, yeah, a 28 can be tough. Laura says this one is going to be awesome. Might have to nickname it 50 Shades of Blue, though. Yeah, very possibly, Laura. And Carla says, hi Nicola, love the blues, and that Van Gogh is a must until Sunday. Okay. I've got a few more comments to go through, and then we will finish those for today. So on live stream Sunday, Kathy Brown says, I really enjoy your live streams. Your interaction with Andy and your girls pulls you into the room with you. Thank you. I'm so glad I found your channel. Enjoy the retreat this weekend. No worries. But as I've said a number of times, my family are just as much part of my stitching life. So this is their home, and whilst I ask them to be respectful whilst I'm on a stream, I do expect that life will definitely continue around us, and it very often does. You know, sometimes the girls might quarrel, or Hannah might drop an F-bomb, or she might drop a Trumpy Trump. There's a few things that can happen in this house. It can get wild. But there we go. Linda Love to Stitch says on live stream Sunday, looking very good. I missed you live because I was watching football. Jane leaves me an emoji of love hearts on the new start video. That's Jane Murray. And then back to live stream Sunday. Laura says, love your interaction with Andy. Hopefully we'll be able to join on the 5th. I have the 6th off, but I will try and pop in if I can on my breaks. Thank you, Laura, because that is all being well. When she sleeps, it's going to be finished. As long as I can get enough stitches in between now and then. So, yeah. If not, it'll be on the Sunday after, or maybe even the Wednesday following. I haven't, made up my mind. I think because Sundays are dedicated to the new start, it may be pushed to the Wednesday, but we will see. And with Laura's comments, that ends the comments today. So I have about 10 minutes of stitchy time left. There was a lot of comments today, which was fabulous. And I do want to remind you guys about my Facebook group. If you're not a member of the Simply a Stitcher and Friends Facebook group, there will be a link down below. We do for our Sunday live, for our Wednesday and Sunday lives, what we have now dubbed as Sew and Tell, where we share a progress picture in the Facebook group of the pattern that's been worked on. People have been enabled, because of that. So beware. It could be enabling. But the group as well it's a great supportive place. Over 300 members in there. Lots of people that share things, offer help and support, answer questions. People requesting help and support. We recommend Flosstubers. We share our purchases. You name it, it happens. Sometimes there's even a funny meme or two. So yeah. If you're not in the group, do join. It's a great community. But yeah, 10 minutes left. We'll see how many more, well, under 10 minutes now. See how much of this square I can get filled in. I've done very well, actually, in terms of stitches on this so far. It's certainly much easier than the Van Gogh one, and setting up the parking, doing it in this sort of typewriter method. I think this is going to be my way going forward, typewriter, I think. For a new start, it just seems to work a lot quicker, a lot better. I mean, I'm not adverse to parking a thread here and there either. So, but yeah. There we go. So as you're watching this on Saturday, on Monday, my dental treatment starts. It remains to be seen how much conversation I'll be able to have in live streams and such. However, I will still make the effort to put out my videos. It's just that you may not see my face on camera for a while. The treatment's going to take about 5 weeks in all, and the likelihood is is that I will film my floss tubes in a similar way to Natalia does hers at Mermaid's Cove, that you will see my projects and you'll see my hands and not my face. And if I do have any issues with speaking, Lauren has kindly offered to step in with a soundtrack for me. So that's really good news. Okay, had to set myself up with some face masks. Of course, you know, we've not used face masks really since the pandemic, because when I go out in public and I have missing teeth, I certainly won't want to be showing a smile without teeth. But yeah, it'll not be for long. I'm a little anxious, but it's all for the greater good. And I will look better, I will feel better, and I will certainly feel more confident. So yeah, it's just a case of carry on. And then later on next week, Hannah is going to the doctors too. She's not unwell or anything like that. We're just going to go because she's very anxious, and see if there's anything that can be done to help her. Her work have recommended that she make this appointment. She had a minor issue the other day and got quite overwhelmed, and I think they were quite shocked at how overwhelmed she got. So, you know, they suggested that she make an appointment. So Andy Julie did, and I shall be going with her to support her. And all being well, we'll get her some help, you know, whatever she needs. But, you know, the nice thing is that at work, she had a little issue, and they said to her, look, you know, you are a part of our work family. And Hannah was really touched by that. With autism, it's very difficult to feel that you belong, that you're in the right place. And she came home and she said, you know, they told me that I'm part of the family, and I'm so happy about that. And I'm like, well, yeah, you know, you work there, you interact with them, you get to know people, you get to know the residents and all the rest of it. So, you know, you are a part of that family. And I don't think she quite realised that, you know, that's you know, the impact of her job. She's become a part of her work family as well as being a part of her home family. But there we go. So really that's all I've got on next week. Just that my dental work begins. I'm a little nervous about it, but for the greater good. And then we'll get Hannah sorted as well, I'm sure. So a few more stitches and a mark off, and then we'll be ending this video for today. But while we are here, I'll just give out my usual reminders. There are 3 videos that will be appearing on your screen in a moment. If you've not seen those, please do go take a few minutes to have a look. As ever, my schedule is I release Flosstube on a Tuesday, Stitch With Me on a Thursday and Saturday. Still get that wrong. And I'll live stream on Wednesdays and Sundays at 7:30 p.m. UK time. So if you can join me for those, it would be much appreciated. On my Sunday stream, I pick up where I end on this Stitch With Me, and whilst I will get this project to 1,000 stitches, I will carry on working on this project. So what happened today is I will carry on working this piece until it gets to 1,000 stitches. Then I'll put it aside, then I'll pick it up again on the Sunday stream, and we'll get in some bonus stitches. But that is 404 stitches complete today, which I'm very happy about. So that's, you know, those have gone in quite quickly, haven't they? Quite well, compared to the Van Gogh one, which had about 150 by the end of the session. This one's done really well. So I think this one is going to be a really nice stitch. Oh, excuse me. Until I get to the confetti, of course, and then, you know, all bets are off. So really, all I've got to say to you guys is thank you very much indeed for watching. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your subscribing, and all of that good stuff, and your participation in the Facebook group. So I will see you on the next one. Take care. Happy stitching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.